You're listening to Intuitive Style, where we believe that everyone has style. I'm Maureen Welton. In conversation with fantastic guests, we explore how to tap into our style intuition so that we can dress authentically and live fully. Today's guest is the Anna Newton, OG, OG content creator, published author, YouTuber, and the creative mind behind the wardrobe edit on Substack. Pitch me! Anna, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. We were just saying, number one, I haven't recorded a podcast for the longest time, and I don't think I've ever done one on fashion.
Today is the day to
My
get it
debut.
started. There are some amazing shows about fashion, so I hope to see you on some more of them if you want to.
I would love to.
So I did want to just say before we get into it that I've been following you long enough that I wore the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk on my wedding day per your recommendation.
And did you love it?
Yeah, I mean, I had been wearing it for like a while. And so I actually got my makeup professionally done. My makeup artist tried to color match me, and she was like, this Giorgio Armani that you have is better color match and better than what she was making custom. And I was like, okay.
It's the best. I wore it on my wedding day too. That foundation is such an OG. It's been in my makeup collection for years. They've reformulated it. I don't know if it's a worldwide thing. In the EU, they're bringing out some like really strict regulations around certain ingredients. So we're getting a lot of foundation formulations or reformulations, which is kind of exciting because aside from this, I'd say foundation is like my second most exciting pursuit in life.
Just wanted you to know that your recommendations are solid.
I love that. Thank you.
So one of the recent series that you've been doing that I've loved is where you're working with different personal stylists. Can you just share a little backstory on the behind the series and how it's been?
Oh my gosh, that has been so fun. So January last year, I did a kind of shop your wardrobe series. A lot of people do a no buy in January, and I was like, how can I create content that sits with that and is still fun and exciting and encouraging people just to wear what we already have and just have a month of experimenting in a way. And I think last year I did do a session with Alison Bornstein. I've done a few sessions with her over the years and have just loved every single one. I think it's quite a scary thing to work with a stylist. It feels quite vulnerable. It's quite personal, like having a meeting with someone that you've never met before. And then not that you're getting changed on camera or anything, but you're going in your wardrobe. It's quite a vulnerable thing. So I really have enjoyed doing those over the years to show people that it's not a scary thing. It's not something that you have to do when you're in complete dire straits with your wardrobe. I think that's a common misconception that like, oh, you only work with a stylist because you're out of ideas and you're like feeling in a really bad place with your style. And it can definitely help with that. But I think even if you're kind of in a good place with your style, personally for me, a lot of my friends in my real life, they're busy, they have kids. Maybe they care about what they wear, but it's not, something they're writing an online newsletter about. So it's been really fun to work with stylists in almost having a really super stylish friend give you some great ideas, come up with new ways to wear old pieces, give you like little styling tips and tricks. And I just thought for this year, I would build on that. I'd already had a session booked in with Alison and I was like, how about I book in with Reva? What about Anna? What about Kelly? What about Angie? It just kind of snowballed from there. And before you know it, my whole January calendar was just full with stylist appointments with these people who I've mostly connected with on Substack. And I enjoy their content from a reader's perspective. So it felt really special to be able to work with them on that series. And like, I'm a fangirl of these people, like I'm a fangirl of these people and I got to work with them. I got to showcase their talent. And ultimately I came away with well over 150 new outfit ideas. It's crazy. My phone is just full of outfits that I can wear, but I got to share that with my readers, show them that having a styling session is a really fun thing that you can do. You're supporting independent women who have created their own stylist businesses. And there was just so many ideas and every single one was different. I didn't go into each one with the spin already in my head of like, oh, this is the person who's going to
Mm,
help me with this specific thing. But it was really fun that ultimately, like, I have the same wardrobe, I have the same pieces, and each person brought a bit of their own personality and their own ideas to the table. And it was really fun in the hour sessions that we had. By the end of it, I was always writing them before I went to bed. So because of the time difference, I was normally doing them at like 5 p.m., eating my dinner, and then being desperate just to sit on my laptop and write the post. It's like the post was like
yeah.
in me and like I needed to get it out. And it was really fun to find the different angles with different people and how they all just brought something completely unique to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been such a fun series, and I've been lucky enough to work with both Allison and Angie myself, and I've had different stylists on the podcast. Like, I couldn't agree more as far as the the value that you can get from
Yeah.
working with a stylist, and especially in like you were doing kind of a short-term way where it's like a one-off session, like you're just styling in your closet
Yeah.
together. I think it's so helpful to just get out of your own head of what you might do and just try out things that you might not have tried before. And
Yeah.
your series is obviously great because
Thanks.
you put like 1,000 photos, which is just so helpful because then we get to see like, oh, I know I was inspired by like how you were styling a flannel shirt. And then I lived in Seattle. Like it has
Yeah.
like a very specific kind of meaning to it, and so
Yeah.
seeing you wear a flannel shirt in, like, a totally different way, I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, you can give new life and new stories to garments, so I thought that
Yeah.
was particularly fun.
The flannel shirt was an interesting one because I think every single stylist gravitated, like used it in an outfit somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I think every single I'm pretty sure, like, in every single
Yeah.
session, we ended up using it, but everyone used it in a slightly different way. Like, Kelly did this trick where we tied it around the waist. Alison did a trick of just, like, wearing it open and, like, using it as, like, a sandwich layer in between a white shirt or a white T-shirt and a leather jacket. And so in every single one, it was funny to see the same pieces styled in different ways, and it's almost like my true personal style is an amalgamation of all of those looks that everybody made, you know? It was I think
Ooh.
you could almost take pictures from each of the sessions and know which person did,
Mm,
which I think is
yeah.
fascinating when you've all got the same base material.
I'm curious, have you felt different getting dressed since doing the series?
I mean, I've just written a post on this. It's going to be out next week because I was like, I should hope so. 5 hours with some of the best in the business, and we overran quite often, so it was more than 5 hours. In a massive way, in a huge way. I think it's actually shifted more than I thought it would. I thought it would just be I'd do these sessions and then I'd have, a roundup post at the end. I'd be like, oh, the 10 tricks that I've employed since, or something like that. But it's not so much the styling tricks that I learn, although there are definitely things I've put into practice. It's been like a bigger shift in terms of what I have in my wardrobe and how precious I feel about it. That's maybe not the right way to
Mm.
say it, but I think in my session with Reva, she was like, your wardrobe is precious real estate. Like, if things are in there, they deserve their place in there. Like, I ended up doing this massive wardrobe cull out of nowhere. Like, one day after one of the sessions, I was like, right, like, I'm not wearing this. I've got this because I feel like I need to fulfill this category rather than actually using it and wearing it. It's taking up space. So I got rid of almost 20% of my wardrobe. It sounds very extreme, but there was a lot of things that needed trimming out, and it's left me with fewer things, but things that are all like fitting together easier. I can't it's tricky to explain. I had this post to me that I was like on the train, like desperately trying to get out because I was like, oh, I need to like put this into words. But it's been a different shift to what I thought would happen.
Yeah, and when you say that, you called this 20%, so I hear, like, clarity in your voice.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
almost
yeah, yeah.
sounds like there were very specific pieces that you knew you wanted to cull. Is that how it was, or like, did you feel friction with those specific items during the sessions, or just how did that go?
Yeah, I think they kind of fell into a few categories. I think there was a category of things that just didn't fit. And I was like, oh, but they're vintage Levi's and we love a vintage Levi. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm saving them for days where I'm really feeling myself, like honey, that is not happening. Like there was just, and I was like, I've got so many jeans, so many jeans that I do love and I do wear. And again, it's taking up space and it's creating that decision fatigue around too many things, too many options. Like actually just have the options that you like and fit. And then I think there were also things that I kept coming back to, these problem pieces. I had a pair of burgundy cords, and in every single styling session, I'd always be like, but how do I style this? And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's taking up a lot of space. It's taking up a lot
Mhm.
of space. It's taking up a lot of time. I'm using time in these sessions to try and find answers to these burgundy cords, which when I checked my index stats, I think I had worn maybe 3 times in, the last 2 years. And I just thought, this is so silly. It's obviously not a piece that's working for me. There is that friction there. It is not a piece that's working. Take it out of the equation. I mean, all of these things I think in the past I've been quite hasty with it and I've just boom, gone on Vinted, on Vestiaire, like let's get rid of it. Whereas all this stuff is sitting upstairs. And there's definitely been a few things that I've thought, oh, but I missed that. Oh, I want to, I'm kind of moving things in and out a bit slower now than I used to. So a few things have trickled back in. But I think you're right. I think I almost knew the pieces that in my head, I was like, these are the pieces that have to go.
Yeah. I wrote a piece a year ago that sounds like exactly what you're saying, which is like the distraction of the wrong thing, which is
Yeah.
basically how if you have a garment that you have to like force or like think about, it takes away the fun of putting together an outfit when you have to like work really hard at it. And I think
Yeah.
Angie talks about this a lot too. I mean, she probably has a different like word for it, but like she just wants everything in your closet to be seamless. And if it's
Yeah.
really hard to style, aside from whether or not it fits you, if it's really hard to style, it just
It's not fun.
it's just
Yeah.
heaviness, and it takes away the joy that I think everyone that's in this space is looking to
Yeah.
achieve.
And I think there's almost the misconception of,
Mm,
oh, well, then you've just stripped it back and you've got no personality pieces and you've got no fun pieces. But I have got fun pieces in my
yeah,
wardrobe that I actually really find quite easy to style and quite
yeah,
easy to wear. So I think it was just showing me that I'd rather be wearing those and I'd rather be almost like going back to basics in a way with my pieces, feeling really good, feeling like my outfits are just like clicking, coming together, rather than grabbing something and going, oh, I don't like how that fits, or
yeah.
oh, but I only ever wear that with a black top, and I've got no other ideas. So yeah, I think you're right. I think clarity was a real
Mm.
big lesson that came out of having 5+ hours with professional stylists.
That's awesome. This is kind of an off the cuff question, but I think one thing continue to struggle with is I'm still buying the wrong things sometimes. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah,
Like, and I'm trying really hard to buy the right things and like pay attention to, how I feel in my clothes and make sure that they feel effortless and they go with things. And then I look back on them and I'm like, what was I
yeah.
thinking? Like,
Yeah.
do you feel that that's inevitable?
Yes, I do. I do. I think we're all so hard on ourselves. I think we're really hard on ourselves with this. And I think even the people who are the best in the biz, even like Alison Borstein is going to stand there and say,
Yeah.
I've bought some really messed up things that did not work in my wardrobe, that did not look good, that did not fit. I think for me, and this is really lazy, but I do think something arrives I think, oh, it's okay. Like it's fine. Like if I breathe in, if I wear it with these shoes, and I think from doing these sessions with everybody, it's made me be a better shopper, which definitely wasn't the point. It was called Shop Your Wardrobe Month. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
just I can go out and buy lots of new things. But I did end up buying a few new things. And I think it made me order the jeans in 3 different sizes. Or like even this jumper I ordered and I was like, oh, the sleeves are a little bit short on it. Is that right? And so I ordered the next size up and then that
Mm.
actually lost the fit around the body. And then I realized I wanted to keep this size. So all things like that, it's made me much more, it's like conscientious, the right word? Like, I don't know, it's given me some like discernment around sometimes you just need to make the return. You just need to get off your butt and need to make the return and you need to try things in different sizes. I think that was a big thing for me of, oh, that will do. Like but then not realizing that actually just one size up in that denim would give me a bit more comfort and give me a bit more bagginess. And actually that's what I was looking for. So I think that's been a big learn for me. And I
Yeah.
know Alison and Reva are both big into the like, make 3 outfits. And Reva in our session was like, do you make 3 outfits with new items? I was like, in my head. She's like, no, you need to be doing them in your wardrobe. And actually, she really is right. I've done that with every parcel that's come in. And if I haven't had time to do it, I leave it at the side till I have time to do that kind of styling session myself. And that has definitely helped. I mean, I'm saying this, they're like fresh in my wardrobe. I'm really excited to wear them. But I think it is inevitable. There's like things you can do for insurance. Inevitably, we're going to make some not great purchases sometimes, sadly.
I don't know if you ever do this, but like sometimes I'll have a new item in and I will try it on with different outfits and I won't like the outfits and I keep the item anyway. And I'm
Yes.
like, I
Yeah.
put together an outfit. I'm supposed to like this.
Yeah.
It technically works,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't feel good. And I'm like, well, it's staying.
I've I have so done that. Or like shoes not fitting.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
always or a pair of shoes and they're so uncomfortable, but you're like, oh, but if I just, walk 10,000 steps in them, they're gonna no. They're gonna make your feet bleed. There's gonna be
Yeah.
actual blood in the back that you're trying to like get out
Yeah.
before you put them on Vinted. It's just no.
Well, all that being said, so when I think of your career, you've worked with some huge brands, which from my eyes looks like a lot of options as far as what kinds of clothes that you can bring into your closet. Um, I'm just curious with how do you stay consistent to yourself and to your vision for how you want to dress when you have so many options? It feels like it would be even more difficult in that way. How do you know when something is in your wheelhouse versus maybe not?
That is such a good question. I I do donate a lot. Like ultimately, like I have this with beauty as well. Like I have one face. I am one human. I'm a single person. Like I do not. I've worked out for me through doing index that ultimately, when my wardrobe starts to go over 200 pieces, which for some people might seem really tiny and for some people might seem really big, I start getting really overwhelmed and I hate what I'm wearing and I hate myself. So I think I am very careful about like what gets added to like the actual daily rotation. And I'm really lucky that quite often with the brands that I work with, it's a bit of a like you do you. Like instead of like you're gonna wear like I don't work with people who are like, you have to wear this top with these dresses. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I feel like that doesn't work. So I think I'm very lucky to be at a place where I kind of do get like free pick of things. Like whenever I work with Net-a-Porter, it is literally like pick off the website. I actually loan a lot of stuff from brands as well. It's quite often
Mm.
it's not necessarily things coming into my wardrobe.
Okay.
So it's things that I get to like play with and I get to that's to me the ultimate is to get to work with a brand like Net-a-Porter where I loan items. Sometimes it's really sad though, because they get sent back. I'm like, oh, Net-a-Porter, guys. Or I try things and then I'm like, oh God, now I need to buy this. So
Yeah.
it's not always as clean cut as that. But loaning is a really good way of me playing around with items. The brand are happy because it's new in stock items that I'm showing. But then the ideal for me is when I get to incorporate them with what I already have. That's
Yeah.
ultimate.
And you do
Like
that
that.
very, very well.
Thank you. That to me is ultimate because it's authentic. I say to the brands, we're not wearing head to toe one brand. We're not.
Yeah.
We're mixing it with vintage, with secondhand, with a pair of jeans we've had for the last 5 years. So that to me is always the aim, is to show people how these new pieces work with what I've already got, with what you've already got, rather than head to toe looks. And I think brands are becoming they're realizing that that is like the most authentic way to blend in these items instead of everything being brand new head to toe and like the
Yeah.
shoes are unscratched and the bag is brand new. Like it looks very
Yeah.
clean, but ultimately people want to see the real life application of things.
Yeah, I think you're touching on, I mean, obviously you would touch on this perfectly because you know what your purpose is and what it does. But like, as a viewer and a reader for so long, I'm very active in the personal style space, and I'll see creators like go to Fashion Week and every day they're wearing a head to toe look and all the looks are fabulous,
Gorgeous. Yeah,
but
cool.
none of the pieces are interchanged from day to day. Every single
Yeah.
day it's like totally new items. And I think as I've gotten older or, more it's just I've gotten more jaded to that. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, anyone can make 7 incredible outfits with brand new pieces
Mhm.
7 days in a row. It's so much more interesting to see how people, like, make use of what they already have and style it
Absolutely.
in different ways, and it's harder. It's harder.
Yeah.
Um,
I think people love a capsule as well. It comes
yeah.
from that was, like, so hot back in the
Yeah.
day, and I definitely, like, fell in that, like, down that rabbit hole. But it's more exciting to I think that's also why Substack does really well, because a lot of people on Substack, they have
Yeah.
jobs in marketing, they're stay-at-home moms, like, they're coming from all different walks of life, and they're just showing what they wear genuinely every day, like not at a fashion show, they're showing what they wear to drop off with their kids, what they're wearing on the commute to work. And I think that's where Substack is a really fun place to play around in personal style. And there's so many people. I mean, I follow like well over 100 Substacks, and
Yeah.
whenever I go, and I'm like, oh god, there's so many, in my inbox. I can't. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
read that one, but I love that one. I genuinely can't edit them down
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, but I love reading those once a week. So I think that's why it's a really fun place to engage with personal style content, because people are just living their everyday lives and documenting what they actually wear. And that's all what we want to see. And that's always at the crux of what I want to do. I never want to be like putting on an outfit and not wearing it out, because that's not really an
Mm.
outfit. Like that's a work from home look, honey. Like,
Yeah.
which is also fun to share. But I really want to be sharing those everyday realistic outfits. Like I've got my sweats on right now, I snapped a little picture before this. It'll be in my post on Sunday.
I took a picture too. I was like, "I need to document what I wore to
Yeah.
talk to Anna."
I love that. I love that.
That's what we do, right? Um,
Exactly. Exactly.
so, I mean, I just feel like you're so articulate in this space. So, I just wanted to hear your take on the idea of intuitive dressing. So, like when you hear the word intuitive or, what does that mean to you, and how does that show up in your life, if at all?
I actually love this phrase. Like, I know this is kind of your spiel, and I love this phrase. I think this is really interesting phrase, because I think everyone's answer for this is going to be different. I think for me, and this has been the biggest shift in the last 4 years, like ultimately probably since I had my son, is practicality. Like intuitive dressing is like dressing from a place that is very functional, but then also you love your outfit at the same time. It's like marrying those two things together of like practicality, functionality. It works. But then also just feeling like absolutely fantastic in it. And I think sometimes people think if you have one, you can't really have the other. And I'm like, no, you can. You can have both. Whenever I feel like I'm not dressing intuitively, or I'm not really feeling my outfit, or I don't like the outfits that I'm making, or it doesn't really feel like authentic to me. Maybe I've gone a bit too like trendy. It always boils down to like me also feeling uncomfortable in those outfits. Like things are too tight. I love how fit comes up all the time with me. I'm like,
Oh,
girl just needs
same.
to buy jeans that like fit.
Same, same.
But I think it is something's too tight or it's scratchy. And it's like what you said, when you keep those things that ultimately like deep down, it's a bad purchase, but you've kept it anyway. I do the same thing, and it's like, oh, but a collar like scratches, or I don't like how everything's like bunching up around here. It's quite like sensory for me. I
Mm.
really need to be comfortable in my clothing. I want to be comfortable. I want it to be practical, but I also want there to be a bit of fun. And I think that's sometimes what my style has been missing over the years. It's the leopard print jacket, it's the vintage cuff, it's like putting on some rings, it's finding those ways to add personality. And that's maybe the bit that makes me feel cute, whilst also wearing my rain boots. And that's the bit that feels functional.
I have a theory, and I would love your take on this.
Yeah.
So, I feel like in the 2010s, like for us millennials,
Yeah.
We've had to do a lot of unlearning, especially when it comes to, like, the trends that were popular when we
Mm,
were, like, coming of age. And, like, when I was in high school, college, comfort was not a priority at
no.
all. It was
Oh God, no.
like, your pants need to be as skinny as possible, like, practicality was not a priority. It was
Never.
actually something that was a bad thing. It was like, you should be wearing heels. Like, I wore heels to my classes in college, like,
Well,
walking, like, like, I'd wear a heeled boot. I wasn't wearing, like, a pump.
oh, I know exactly what kind of boot you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wearing the same.
Yeah. But, like, you know what I mean? It's like, the idea of practicality that you were saying being important, like, we had to teach ourselves that and give ourselves permission for that
Yeah.
because it wasn't a mindset that was present, and
Yeah.
that's why I think it feels so radical and difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
For me personally, still, right? Like, when I look
Yeah.
at my mood board, like, all the shoes are super dainty, and I'm like,
Yes.
I want to give myself permission to like less dainty shoes, but I just like, I still don't have that mindset yet, and that's what, like, one of my struggles with that practicality element. But anyway, I'm curious, like, your take on that. Do you feel that that's, like,
Yeah.
in there?
Absolutely. I think that's a really interesting take because I had the exact same thing of, my first office job being in London. I don't live in London. Like I had to commute up,
Mm,
being on the train for like over an hour, like walking a good 20 minutes at the other end, like walking on this side, like to the station, but still doing it in exactly what you're talking about, like a heeled boot, like this bit. Whereas now I would never, I mean, my toe 10 boots are very comfortable, but I don't think I'd be doing that on a daily basis. I
yeah.
think you're right. I think it was sort of hammered into us. Like I would never have thought about comfort, function, practicality. Never. I think you're right. It was almost a bit of a dirty word, like to think about that. That was not where our heads were at. Maybe it's an age thing. It's just like, my life right now is very different. But I think you're right. There is a big amount of unlearning to do.
Yeah.
I think it also comes from a lot of the inspiration that sits on places like Pinterest is very city. It's very London, New York, Paris. It's almost like quite posed in a way. And actually that is why I love Substack. And actually I do so much of my screen grabbing now from Substack
Yeah.
because I live in suburbia. I don't live in like I went down the road in my little like pony hair leopard print jacket the other day and my neighbors were like, "Where are you going?" We're like, "Where are you going dressed like that?" Like so it is almost like marrying up that aspirational version, but like finding ways to do it in your home environment, in suburbia, in your home environment. And I think that's why Pinterest,
Yeah.
in a way, can be quite tricky for that. And that's where Substack has actually really, really massively helped me like marry those two parts together.
Mm. I'm just taking that in. No, I think that's you're making such a good point, and I'm gonna try to listen to that, like, where we get our influences is directly like, forming our conception of what
Hmm.
style is,
Yeah.
and if we are consistently looking and focusing on inspiration that is impractical or aesthetic without being related to our life, that has
Hmm.
an impact on, therefore, what we feel that we should be wearing or that we
Absolutely.
should look good in. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think for the longest time, I was looking at London holding little coffee cups, that sort of,
Yeah.
exactly what my Pinterest board would have looked like.
Yeah.
But that isn't my life. And I think having my son like made me switch that. I was like, oh my God, like I can't rock up to a soft play, which
Yeah.
whenever I talk about soft play to someone in the US, they're like,
We're
what
like,
are you?
"What?"
Ultimately, like an indoor play center,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
indoor play center, everything's cushioned. That's the
Yeah.
only really way to describe it. Like if I rocked up to that in a blazer coat
Yeah.
with, a tiny little bag that I was holding and some like high-heeled boots. It just wouldn't I wouldn't feel
Yeah.
comfortable in that environment. Like it's finding it's been I think what's really helped me has been finding style inspirations that are more grounded within a reality that I'm living. I think that has been really, really helpful and has actually helped me refine like where I'm at with my personal style right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. I need to work on that. My mood board, I think I'm moving in the direction of being more practical, but I could have a couple more sneakers on there.
Yeah, add a few more flat boots in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, that's sorry, I'm still just taking that in.
No, no, it's fine.
Um, so I think we've touched on this a little bit, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you decide what to buy and what to wear, and how do you decide what not to buy or wear. And we can talk maybe more on the
Oh,
buying side, especially when it comes to like maybe with these styling sessions you mentioned you purchased a couple things.
yeah,
Maybe those could be a good example of like
yeah,
how you decided.
yeah. So it just was quite ironic to me that I was doing these sessions as part of
Yeah.
Shop Your Wardrobe Month, and then I was like, "Oh, I bought like 10 things. Whoops!" Like honestly, my husband was like, "Anna, the UPS guy is here again." He was like, "What are you doing?" I think I almost needed to buy a lot of things and then get them out my system. I actually saw
Yeah.
a TikTok the other day that was like, wish lists are good, but they almost give that piece a lot of power because
Yes.
then you might buy the thing and
Yeah.
it doesn't work anyway. Like out of nowhere, I was like, I need a pair of Dries Van Noten colored trousers. I was like, I need them. And then I went on
Yeah.
my Tracer, there was some in the sale. I bought them, I returned them all. And now I no longer feel a need to buy. I know that is so wasteful. And also, if I was in London, I would go to the store to try them on. I don't live in London. But it's almost like sometimes you need to get it. You romanticize something and then you try it and you're like, actually, this isn't what I need and this isn't working for me. So I did go a little bit wild, but the most success I had with the things that I bought and I kept were actually from the session that I had with Reva. I feel like I keep talking about Reva's session. I think I called it the styling session that changed my brain chemistry because I feel like it actually really did. And we hadn't worked together before either. So that was quite fun to do one with someone who I'd like never met before in that way. And she also is a mum of like three. She lives
Mm.
in Canada. She kind of gets the climate. Like there was a lot of overlap there in terms of our lifestyles, which I think isn't necessary, but can sometimes be helpful. She actually, off the back of our session, sent me like a screen grab and she was like, I think these things could be really helpful for you. One of them was a grey jumper. She was like, "You love wearing your grey knit," but she was like, "Your cashmere knit is a slightly different vibe." And when I had my session with Alison agreed. She was like, "It's a bit sportier, it's a bit more relaxed." Like, and I'm personally like, I have worn this so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
I was just thinking, I was like, this really needs to go in the wash after this
yeah.
session. So this was a good purchase, and I. But like Reva said, I tried it on with so many things when it came. I also ordered lots of different ones. I ordered the one from the Great. I actually didn't order the Donny one because Donny's now really expensive to get in the UK. They've
Mm.
like upped the shipping and the imports and whatever. So, but I looked at that. I looked at the Still Here one. I like shopped around until I was like, no, no, I think this is the one. So I definitely feel like I put a lot more research in rather than, oh, I've seen that on someone, click. Like I'd sort of, I did I went really digging for these. She also suggested a pair of like black kind of crepey trousers. I've got black linen trousers and I've also got like a really nice pair of more like dressy trousers, but I wouldn't really wear them every day. They're kind of like a dressy pair of trousers for me. And she was a bit like the Rogala pants.
Mhm,
Everyone's like,
mhm.
oh, you need the Rogala pants. I have not ever tried the Rogala pants. They're £1,000. They're a thousand. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't, like, I
Yeah.
can't ever do that. But I tried, she suggested the Donny, they're called like the Donny crepe simple pants or something. I ordered them. I ordered them in two different sizes. I've returned them. They are not for me.
Oh.
You're doing a quick Google of them now. You're like, like, let's have a little look at these. They're just like a loose fitting black crepe trouser, a bit more all season rather than I've obviously got a linen wide leg pair, which is very summery. But I
Yeah.
just didn't like them. I sort of I took her suggestion on. I've tried a few different styles, and I think just that sort of style of black trouser makes me feel like I'm back at school.
Mm,
There's
mhm.
something about it that feels a bit school uniformy for me. And I tried them on, I tried them in different sizes, and I just couldn't make them work. And that's an example of something that I was like, someone has recommended this as a bit of a gap. But actually, I was like, maybe that's a gap that can just be a gap. But I
Yeah.
don't think I need to fill it. I've got other things that I can wear. What else did she suggest? Oh, she suggested rain boots. I live in the
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in the UK. It rains. It's literally rained for like, if anyone from the UK is complaining about the weather, it's because it has rained for about a month straight at this point. It's thoroughly depressing. The weather is awful. And she said, cool. So what shoes are you wearing to the park? Like, what shoes are you wearing when it's rained? I was like, my Converse? And she was quite like, she could deliver a bit of tough love. Like, if you
Yeah.
needed a bit of tough love, like she can hold your hand while she says this. And she was just like, that is madness. How do you not have a pair of rain boots? So and she suggested some. She suggested the Solomons. She's also got like a snow clog thing. Doesn't snow all that often here, but I researched. I had a look around, and then I found this. They're called Tretorn, and they're this brand that are based in Stockholm. 100% waterproof. Like, they're perfect. I've worn them so often since. I I went for lunch with my friends on Saturday. Both of them bought them by the end of our lunch. Like, it's things like that. She actually really helped me with a lot of very like practical holes in my
Yeah.
wardrobe that aren't not particularly like sexy. None of those things are particularly sexy things to buy. And they're not necessarily things that you'd be like, oh, buying rain boots is a real game changer. But it has actually made my life easier. I know that sounds really dramatic, but I wore them. I went to Pilates this morning at the crack of dawn. I just boom, slipped them on. End of Pilates, boom, slipped them on. Like, walked out. It's like those little things that those little tiny purchases that actually make your life easier. I
Yeah.
didn't I needed her to say that to me. That's not personally like a hole I could find myself. So yeah, there's been a few things that I've bought and really loved, and then a few things that I've tried and been like, maybe that doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Do you have any sense on what was preventing you from having rain boots before? Or just out of sight, out of mind?
Think I thought they were ugly. I was like, I just think they're like ugly. They're not for me. They almost felt too practical. Do you know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go there. I was like, I've got my Converse. It's fine. I can put my Converse in the wash. Like, it's not a problem. I can wipe them down. But it's almost just finding the right ones for you as well. Like, again, I played around with size. I ended up sizing down because my normal size were a bit too big and they looked a bit clumpy. And I think doing the whole, stylist approved thing of trying on multiple outfits really helped, because I think I put them on and I would have been like, but I actually like them best with black denim. Like, my go-to is kind of like a bluey, like this kind of wash of denim. But actually they can look a bit bulbous.
Yeah.
They almost need a black,
Yeah.
something like a trouser that's black to almost dull them down, like quieten them down a bit. And again, I've worn them so much. Everyone's like, oh my God, Anna is wearing rain boots. I'm like, I know, check me out. Check me out.
Well, I mean, even just the idea of styling them with black pants makes sense for your style anyway, with just clean lines and
Yeah.
seamlessness. That makes sense. And I kind of imagine that with the blue denim, they would look very 2017.
Yeah, they
I
did.
feel like that was
Yeah,
like, the maybe the moment. Maybe we're just on a different kind of place now.
yeah.
Um Yeah, I could just share one example from working with Angie, was that we had talked a lot. She was like, "I think you would like a black turtleneck." And similar to you, I tried the black turtleneck. I tried on with all the outfits and I was like, "Am I doing something wrong?" And she's like, "No, your styling is great. If you don't like it, you don't like it."
Then you don't
And
like
then
it.
and then what I ended up doing is I went into the Intimissimi store that happens to be near me and I bought one in burgundy. And it has,
Oh,
like, a little silver shimmer to it, and I was like, "This is crazy." Like, I don't normally like shiny things or whatever, but I put it in all the same outfits, and I, loved it, and it just
there you
had to
go.
be burgundy instead of black, so I think, you can take the advice of a stylist and then, run with it, and,
Yeah.
they're just giving you something to start with. It's not, rules, it's just like, "Hey,
No.
have you tried this?"
No, everything that I ended up buying wasn't actually the thing that Reva had said. Like, Reva had been like, "Oh, you could try these trousers." Like, she had sent over specific models
Yeah.
of things, and I didn't end up buying any of those. And that's not to diss on Reva
No,
at all,
no,
but it's
no.
totally what you said, that you need to find you need to find what's right for you. And yeah, obviously you were just not a black turtleneck girl, but you're a burgundy one.
Apparently.
There you go.
I wear it, like, all the time, so
I love that.
and
I
so
love
thank you, Angie.
that. We love you, Angie.
Um, anyway, I think yeah, I feel like working with stylists is so cool and, like, just the mind power, the melding of the minds, and
Yeah.
I don't wanna be too radical, but I think kinda what we've been talking about, what you mentioned with the practicality and making that really a priority, I think that that's actually huge. I think that's one of the reasons, again, that you're so, like, popular, like, so successful with what you're doing,
Thank you.
is I think women want permission to wear things that actually suit their lifestyle and
Yeah.
are cool, like,
Yeah.
cool, but not like this Instagram aesthetic perfection, but really something that doesn't get in the way of, like, life.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
you do that really well. Like,
Thank
you're
you.
always talking about how you're wearing it and why you're wearing it, and, like, it just seems like you don't let style get in the way of living fully.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you. I think what I've realized through doing this through for so long, I mean, I started off doing beauty and then I've had little moments with, all sorts of things, all sorts of stuff.
Organizing and
Food, organization,
yeah,
lots of different things over the
cookies.
years. But yeah, cookies. I mean, I'm more than happy to be known as like Cookie Anna. I'm like,
Do
oh,
you
I
still
will
drink
take that.
squash?
I drink squash constantly. I've got it in.
Okay.
Yeah, like the squash is me. I am squash. Cut me open. I am squash at this point.
Nice.
So I've had a lot of different things over the years, but obviously like settled on fashion. And I think maybe even 5 years ago, like so not really that long ago, it was like, right, okay, let's get some outfits together. Let's go meet a professional photographer. Let's take some pictures. Let's like
Yeah,
do an outfit change. Like it was, it felt like the fashion content that went down really well and that everyone really wanted was this quite curated, very aesthetic, very polished, taken on a big, massive camera with a big, massive lens, like that kind of look. And now that's really not the case. Everyone loves the little outfit selfie in the mirror that everyone can take. Anyone can do one of those. Or just a picture downstairs in my kitchen or like quite often I was out this weekend at a train thing. I am a train wife. My husband loves trains. My kid loves trains. I am around trains just constantly. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, have you been to the Bluebell Railway, which is like our local heritage railway? I'm like, honey, I go there once. Like, I'm there all the time. You want to find me? I'm there. But like I was there and I just like gave my phone to my husband and was like, oh, can you just take a quick picture? We were outside the men's toilets. Like it was not aesthetically pleasing. But then it's an outfit. I wanted him to take an outfit or a picture of the outfit in the moment as I was wearing it. And that's what I like to see on other people's Substacks and Instagrams and all that kind of thing. So I think there's been a real shift industry wide.
yeah,
And that just feels like what we like now. We just want an outfit selfie. We want to see it in real life, situated in real life, rather than this very like posed aesthetic shoots. Like I just don't really do stuff like that anymore because
yeah.
that's just not what I enjoy watching. It's not what I enjoy doing. Like for someone who does what I do, I'm like, oh, can you not take my picture? Like, I hate having my picture taken.
That's so funny, I would never
Yeah.
have guessed.
Yeah, it's really like not for me. I'm like, right, we're done. We're done. And I always make it like the quickest thing ever.
That makes me feel better, I hate having my picture
Yeah.
taken.
People like having the picture taken. I don't know. Maybe some people.
I think a select number of people who have been professionally trained to do it well.
True. Yeah, true. And that is not me. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But it is interesting that it feels like there's been a shift. But then there's been a shift in the way it's been shot and the way it's packaged, but also that the way that we live our lives in style as well. Does that make more sense? I think
yeah,
we're moving away from that polishedness.
yeah.
But like in both like the way that the reader consumes it and the way that people create content as well.
I think I mean, and as I think I've made it extremely clear. I do follow you, like, I'm aware of what you do and all this stuff. But I wasn't expecting my takeaway from this call to be so clearly, like, continuing to work on melding my personal style with the practicality of my life. Like,
Yeah.
I still think I need to work on that. Like, I feel like being in California, like I feel like I live a very active lifestyle. I'm outside a lot, like we're
Mhm.
going on walks. Like, how can I maybe elevate that part of my style a little bit more, or like mix things a little bit more? Um, yeah, I think that's a good direction
We
rather
need
than
we need the post of that, Maureen. We need
yeah.
like a 3-month follow-up. We need to see it.
Yeah, yeah, I should do that. Well, I have to make some I have to style it first.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
no, I think that's yeah. And then it's so radical. Like, I know I hate saying that word, or, like, it just giving ourselves permission to care about aesthetics without them preventing us from doing what the life that we wanna live, like,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
And also just feeling comfortable in every environment that you're in as well.
Yeah.
I I think I think when I first became a mum, I was so focused on blending in and so just like, okay, right, all the mums are doing these like
Yeah.
chunky trainers. I was like, oh, I need some chunky trainers. Like I kind of did a bit of I went like down a slightly like sportier path with things because I was like, oh, that's what new mums do and that's what I need to be doing that. And it's sort of finding a way of still being you in those environments in environments that you find yourself in often, but not necessarily feeling the need to like adhere to everybody else, but still finding. I think Amy from Tibby talks about this a lot. Like, still just working out like your style code for that environment, rather than feeling like you need to necessarily fit in or blend in. But you do also want to feel comfortable. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
how do you kind of work out that like none of my friends are like super fashiony, so like I never want to go around my friend's house in something that they're going to be like, oh, you're tying a silk scarf around your waist, do you know what I mean? Like they'll be like, what are you doing, Anna? But it's finding, is there a way that I could maybe tie it around my neck and it would, I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's finding
Yeah,
ways
yeah.
to be in environments where you feel comfortable but you feel like you're also expressing yourself.
I mean, I'm smiling because, like, this is the reason I started the show and I started my blog, is like my ever present desire to do what everyone else is doing and like
Yeah.
trying to fight against that, and how like understanding that there's a very social, like biological reason that we want to dress like other people,
Yeah.
but also acknowledging that there are limits to that and that we can feel like suffocated or disconnected from ourselves when we go too far down that rabbit hole. And like, I don't know. It's nice to hear that you struggle with that sometimes too, or you
Oh my
have.
gosh. I think everyone does though,
Yeah.
especially when you go through like a big life change or you move or you have a career change or something happens. I think you have to relearn yourself and then relearn how your style fits into that. I think it like that happens to everybody across the board multiple times in their lives. It's not like, oh, once you've figured it out, like you never have to figure that out again. Like it's not, that's not the case. But it does feel good when it clicks into place, right? When you find, I don't know, you start a new job and you're like, oh, wait, this is the kind of outfit that I want to wear to this new job. And I'm like, oh, this is the kind of outfit I want to wear to the park. When I'm at the park and I've got on my outfit and I've got on my new rain boots and I'm layered up with my Uniqlo puffer tech jacket, like actually keeping me warm, I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
I feel good right now.
I have a question about the pup tech. I've always
Yeah.
wondered about this. When you get to your destination, like if you're indoors, do you take the puff off and like put it in your bag?
Yeah. And it's a real conversation piece. You take it off,
Oh.
people go, oh, is that from Uniqlo? I say, yeah. It is. It is from Uniqlo. I wore it to London the other day and I actually ended up getting quite hot. And it comes in a little bag, but I
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
brought the bag with me. But it's so small. I literally just like like rolled it kind of in my hands into a ball and just put it in my bag. And like I think I actually might put it in my pocket
The
of my
reason I
coat.
ask is where I live, like that is the outerwear because it's like warmer here. And so I was like, to me, that's not my outerwear of
Yeah.
choice. I would think of it more as innerwear, and I was just curious what your take
I
on that was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's more of the innerwear.
I would personally whip it
Yeah.
off. My husband would rock it and look great. Like that's totally his vibe. I would personally like rock it, like thingy it off. But it is quite funny when you take it off. It's quite a conversation piece because you're just
Yeah.
like an onion, just
Yeah.
shedding your layers. You've got so many layers on
I
when you
could
get
have used
excited. You're like, oh.
that. I could have used that back in college when I had this like paper thin black kind of trench coat that I wore for like an hour bus ride and then like a 15-minute walk to a job interview. And I'm like freezing
Yeah.
cold. And I'm like, could have used a puff tech.
Yeah, I think it's something we have to learn, right? Like
Yeah.
my mum is now so happy that I'm wearing practical clothes because for years she was like, "There, you're cold. Like you're cold." I'm like, "No, I'm not cold." I was freezing. No, I'm not cold. I actually finally have some, thick layers in my wardrobe.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. We can grow in all sorts of different ways.
Exactly.
So I'll just finish up with, we all turn to you for advice, but what advice would you give to someone who is trying to build a wardrobe that feels intuitive and authentic to them?
Oh, I feel like I'm going to be a broken record and just like repeat myself once again. I think like this has been a big common topic of everything we've spoken about today. But we all sometimes need to search for inspiration. Everyone, even the top stylists in the world, are finding inspiration in different places from different platforms. But I do think when you're looking for it, trying to find inspiration that naturally fits somewhere within your lifestyle. So for me, I'm looking for working from home outfits. I'm looking for like more practical outfits for like pickup, drop off, like those really like casual kind of errandy moments. I'm not looking at party wear. I'm not looking at like super chic London, like kind of style. Like that is just not, I go to London maybe like once a week, once every 2 weeks is not something that is happening for me like on repeat. So I think trying to search out inspiration that just feels realistic for you is a really, really, really good starting point. Because otherwise you're going to end up with a mood board that just doesn't align with your lifestyle at all. Or maybe you do find things that don't align with your lifestyle, but you're looking at the shapes and the colors and like you're looking at slightly different elements rather than knowing that recreating that outfit piece by piece might not necessarily work for you. I think that's been a real big, big game changer for me. And Substack, and this is not promotional for Substack like, at all, but I'm like, Substack has been a really good place for that because it is full of real
Yeah.
women showing their real outfits that actually work on a daily basis. And now I save them all in my index collections folder and I like go through. And if ever I'm
Yeah.
feeling a bit dry, I'll just have a little look through and I'll find how someone's put that jumper with those jeans, with that jacket, and think, oh, I've got similar pieces that can work in that way. And that has been such a game changer for me in that I'm putting outfits on and they work rather than like trying to dress up. I'm actually repeating one of my most like read Substacks, which is like, why do we keep buying clothes for lives that we don't have?
That's a good post.
I'm like, there you go.
That's
And
a
I can
good
refer
post.
you back.
I'll link that. I'll link
There you
that.
go.
Absolutely. If someone's somehow missed that one,
Thank you.
yeah, that's a good one.
Thanks, Maureen.
Yeah, I have a job to do. I'm gonna update my Pinterest board. I've been working on it, but I'm gonna probably cull a couple things out.
It's time. It's
It's
time.
time.
Realistic inspiration has been a real source of like cracking my personal style and getting dressed every day in a way that feels like relatively easy.
Yeah. Well, this was so fun, which I'm not even remotely surprised by. Um,
Oh, thank
just
you.
you're such a delight, and like for
Oh,
how successful you are, like you always manage to be like very yourself
oh,
and fun and like enjoyable. So I just thank you for chatting with me and sharing
thanks,
your
Maureen.
wisdom and your experience. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this.
Thank you. That has made my day. Thank you.
Well, there's going to be, I you're going to be linked in there, but where can listeners find you?
So you can find me over on Substack at the Wardrobe Edit. And I also share quite a lot of style stuff over on Instagram. I also have like 16 years worth of YouTube archives. If you
Yes.
ever fancy knowing what I look like at 20, you can go You can go find me there. That's over at the Anna edit. I think that's kind of everything.
And some great vlogs.
Very, very old vlogs out there, if that's your thing.
Well, I'll make sure that's all linked in the show notes. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, Anna.
Maureen.
Okay, cool. Intuitive Style is produced, edited, and hosted by me, Maureen Walton. Our theme music is by Tim Reed and Jacob Walton. In case you missed it, Intuitive Style, the podcast, is an offshoot of Intuitive Style, the newsletter. Head on over to Substack, search Intuitive Style to read the newsletter, which covers reflections on what's happening in the personal style world, guest features, and the encouragement that there's no right way to get dressed. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Share this episode with someone you think might enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe as new episodes drop weekly on Fridays. Thanks. See you next week.